We're going live. Well, good morning, everyone. Mic check. Well, good morning, everyone. Right. So today we are continuing to read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And yesterday we finished at Antya-lila, chapter 17. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Right. And we carry on. The aggregation of all these ecstasies awoke a statement by Srimati Radharani in the mind of Bilvamangal Thakur. In the same ecstatic mood, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now recited that verse. And on the strength of madness, he described its meaning, which is unknown to people in general. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Alas, what shall I do? To whom shall I speak? Let whatever I have done in hopes of meeting Krishna be finished now. Please say something auspicious, but do not speak about Krishna. Alas, Krishna is lying within my heart like Cupid. Therefore, how can I possibly give up talking of him? I cannot forget Krishna, whose smile is sweeter than sweetness itself, and who gives pleasure to my mind and eyes. Alas, my great thirst for Krishna is increasing moment by moment." The anxiety caused by separation from Krishna has made me impatient, and I can think of no way to meet him. O my friends, you are also deranged by lamentation. Who therefore will tell me how to find him? O my dear friends, how shall I find Krishna? What shall I do? Where shall I go? Where can I meet him? Because I cannot find him, my life is leaving me. Suddenly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became calm and considered his state of mind. He remembered the words of Pingala, and this aroused an ecstasy that moved him to speak. Thus he explained the meaning of the verse. So in the purport says that Pingala was a prostitute who said, to hope against hope produce only misery. Utter hopelessness is a great happiness. Remembering the statement, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became ecstatic. The story of Pingala is found in Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 8th chapter, verse 22 to 44. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "If I give up hope of meeting Krishna, I shall then be happy. Therefore, let us stop this most inglorious discussion of Krishna. It will be better for us to talk of glorious topics and forget him." While speaking in this way, Srimati Radharani suddenly remembered Krishna. Indeed, he appeared within her heart. Greatly astonished, she told her friends, "The person I want to forget is lying in my heart." Srimati Radharani's ecstasy also made her think of Krishna as Cupid, and this understanding frightened her. She said, "This Cupid who has conquered the whole world and entered my heart is my greatest enemy, for he does not allow me to forget him." Then great eagerness conquered all the other soldiers of ecstasy, and an uncontrollable desire arose in the kingdom of Srimati Radharani's mind. Greatly happy, she then chastised her own mind. If I do not think of Krishna, my impoverished mind will die within a moment like a fish out of water. But when I see Krishna's sweetly smiling face, my mind and eyes are so pleased that my desire for him redoubles. Alas, where is Krishna, the treasure of my life? Where is the lotus-eyed one? Alas, where is the divine ocean of all transcendental qualities? Alas, where is the beautiful, blackish youth dressed in yellow garments? Alas, where is the hero of the rasa dance? Where shall I go? Where can I find you? Please tell me, I shall go there. Speaking in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began running. Swarupa Damodar Goswami, however, stood up, caught him, and took him on his lap. Then Swarupa Damodar brought him back to his place and made him sit down. Suddenly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to external consciousness and said to Swarupa Damodar Goswami, "My dear Swarupa, please sing some sweet songs." The Lord's eyes were satisfied when he heard Swarupa Damodar's songs from Gita Govinda and those by the poet Vidyapati. Each day and night, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would become deranged in this way and talk like a madman. Even Anantadev, who possessed thousands of mouths, cannot fully describe the ecstatic transformation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's experience. The transformations that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced in a single day. What can a poor creature like me describe of these transformations? I can give only a hint of them, as if showing the moon through the branches of a tree. Krishnadas Kaviraj being very humble. This description, however, will satisfy the mind and ears of anyone who hears it, and he will be able to understand these uncommon activities of deep ecstatic love for Krishna. Ecstatic love for Krishna is wonderfully deep. By personally tasting the glorious sweetness of that love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed us its extreme limit. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is wonderfully merciful and wonderfully magnanimous. We have heard of no one else within this world so merciful and charitable. Worship the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in all respects. Only in this way will you achieve the nectarian treasure of ecstatic love for Krishna. Thus I have described Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic transformation of becoming like a tortoise. In that ecstasy, he talked and acted like a madman. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami has fully described this pastime in his book Gauranga Stava Karpa Vriksha. How wonderful it is! Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left his residence without opening the three strongly bolted doors. Then he crossed over three high walls, and later, because of strong feelings of separation from Krishna, he fell down amidst the cows of the Tailanga district and retracted all the limbs of his body like a tortoise. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared in that way, rised in my heart and maddened me. praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. So tomorrow we'll continue with chapter 18. And we carry on reading from Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, Volume 2, by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. Divine attraction reveals the ideal. For one who has had the chance to acquire a taste and become attracted to talks of me, my activities and my movement, no other temptations can any longer hold him under its power. He becomes indifferent to all other activities. The outcome is that he can understand within that all other things bear some unpleasant reaction. Yet, although he can conceive that they are all pain-producing, he is helpless to immediately free himself from their clutches. The debt is already incurred, and his debtors won't allow him to escape. I am in the midst of so many acquisitions. It is not very easy to leave them at once by the sweet will. Previously, I consciously incurred some obligations. I cannot abruptly cut off their connection, that they won't let me free. But the Shraddha or pure attraction he has acquired for me But the Shraddha or pure attraction he has acquired for me is of eternal nature. I cannot be subdued or cut off by any mundane or ordinary attempt. Despite undergoing so many sufferings, he goes on remembering me. His thinking, aspiration, and earnestness is for me. And the more he is compelled to suffer from a pressure of the environment, a firmness in me becomes more and more sure and finally invulnerable. And by standing the test of all these things, he will stand and grow beyond the jurisdiction of these mundane forces. The more pressure comes from outside, the more firmness he feels in the necessity of my help to him. At this time, he turns his back to all the pains of the world and he keeps me in front. He begins to move onwards. Whatever happens to me, I can't complain. It is my master's jurisdiction whether he sees fit for me to undergo those trials or not. But I won't leave my new ideal. I can't. Whatever may come, it may happen, never mind. Still, he abuses himself. What have I done? What have I done? It's rather justice than I should be tormented and troubled in such a way. It is not wrong. Really, just dealings have come to be exercised over me. Why should I have committed this wrong? I entered this wrong alliance, entered into the tribe of the Gunda for exploitation. The reaction that is coming to me is well and good. He blames himself. He does not blame the environment for troubling him, but he sees a concentration camp within. He blames his own self, his own free will and fate. That becomes the nature of his temperament at this time. He does not look to place the fault on the shoulders of others, but he takes the whole burden. Yes, the environment is doing justice for me. The traitor, the ambitious, the oppressor of the environment. When he is in such consciousness, his bhakti yoga or devotional engagement becomes more and more intense. The intensity of his progress accelerates. With accelerated motion, his intensity towards me grows. Then, by my appearance, all the internal and external discrepancies are gradually destroyed and evaporated. When by such an approach he reaches my domain, or rather I come down, extending my existence to his heart, then everything else disappears. Then all the ties and entanglements, corners and angles vanish. Crookedness vanish. He finds himself in the midst of a straight, plain, graphic, spacious and all-embracing temperament. His atmosphere changes. All the ties of so many attractions to various achievements are at once dissolved. They have no necessity in his land. In this land. They have no necessity in this land. Internal approval comes to assure you that you have arrived in your own land. There is no room for any doubt. You find that all your hankering and more have fulfilled here. I was searching, my whole body was searching. In Vaishnava Padyavali, anthology of the Vaishnava songs, there's an expression. In the acme of divinity, Madhura Rasa, where Srimati Radharani is Shakti, the divine potency of the Lord, she says, "My every limb is crying for the respective limb of my Lord. Not only myself, but every part of my body earnestly aspires for the corresponding part of my masters. Every part bears witness. Yes, we have reached the destination we were striving for. This is our full-fledged satisfaction. This is my soil, this is my home. Every atom of the body will say it. No trace of any doubt will be found, for there is no longer any room for that. But every atom will find its fulfillment. This is my home. This is my home. I am in home comfort, I find." Our cherished goal. The Lord says about his devotees, "And the force of a reaction won't come to trouble him, to drag him down or attract him backwards. Thus, that too is severed. I am the fullest of the full perfection. He will be able to trace my friend's ship. This should be course of our life, our cherished goal. Srimad Bhagavatam tells us this. Home, sweet, sweet home. You're a child of that soil. In one word, that is the goal." Why is that the highest goal? Because that is your home. This one word, home, is sufficient to attract you. You're wandering in a foreign land, but there's your home. You'll get home comfort here, and you won't be able to deny that. So back to God, back to home, back to Godhead. God and Godhead. To avoid the Christian conception of God, our Guru, Maharaj Prabhupada, used the word Godhead. God is a particular conception of the Absolute, but Godhead represents Bhagavata, or the background of the conception of God, which is Swayam Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord Himself. This is the highest conception of God. This is the meaning. So more than back to God is back to Godhead. Srimad Swami Maharaj named his spiritual magazine from this consideration. Back to Godhead. There is home, unsettled. We are running hither and thither with no principle of life. So our position is very sad. But this is a troublesome life. To think I can't put my faith anywhere means that I can't find a friend anywhere. I'm friendless, moving amongst foreigners or maybe enemies. But I must have a friend or some friendly atmosphere. I must come into such company in which I can put full faith, in which I can believe and trust, otherwise my life will be miserable. If wherever I cast my glance, I think, I can't trust, all are enemies. To live in such atmosphere is to live in a particular prison house. All uncertainty, all untrustworthiness. That is a very deplorable position. So by God's grace, Shraddha should come to us. I can not only trust and believe, but I cannot but show my regard to a personality of the higher position. Gurum eva bhigachet. Guru is the reliable source. When we suffer from uncertainty to the extreme, we shall hanker for connection with Guru, the reliable source. I cannot only put an inquiry to him with faith and trust, but Guru is a guardian who is my well-wisher and more than I am to my own self. Guardian means a friend who thinks more of me than I think of myself. He knows more about my welfare than I do. Such is the position to have a guardian, a friend, a guru. Narottam Thakur says, Ashraya Laya Bhajetan Tanre Krishna Taha Taije. If one can get a bona fide guardian, his future is ensured. Krishna cannot very easily dismiss the guardian because the guardian has a solid position in the Lord's relationship. So if I enter into the domain of my guardian's care, my position will be ensured. Arabasaba mare karane. Others who have not yet been able to tie themselves with the holy feet of their guardian or guru are in uncertain position, and they may be deviated by any agent. Their future is deplorable. If through our Shraddha we can have a real ideal in life and acquire a real guardian, then certainly our future is ensured practically. Our only duty will be towards our guardian, our Gurudev, and all other duties will be automatically accomplished. So to run throughout the length and breadth of this wide world, this land where nothing but various types of exploitation of various planes are existing, is to run as a ship without a rudder that can be swept away by sea storm, this side and that, endlessly, without purpose. It is through Shraddha that we have connect with our highest goal of achievement and fulfillment. This matter must be solved. Then real life begins. Any questions? And the devotee asks a question. Maharaj, you mentioned that the material world is like a prison house. Are the demigods, such as Brahma and Indra, also prisoners? Srila Guru Maharaj says, they are also prisoners, but as officers. Even prisoners may become officers of the sanction of the jail government. In the prison government, senior and qualified prisoners are also given a chance for a post. Is it not a fact? The devotee says, yes. Srila Guru Maharaj. So their position is like that. They are also imprisoned, but their position is a little higher. A duty is deputed to them, but they are nonetheless prisoners. A devotee, the Srimad Bhagavatam says that there are 14 planetary systems, and yet when we see the sky at night, we see so many stars and planets. It seems that the number is unlimited. Srila Guru Maharaj, those 14 worlds are not only on this physical plane, but range from physical to subtle. Creation stems from consciousness towards matter. The gradation from matter up to consciousness is progressively finer and finer. The gap between matter and the soul, the gap between matter and soul. To feel the gap from gross to subtle, there is a progression of more and more subtle planes, and finally vanish in the conscious area. The gradation from jada to chetana, from matter to spirit, or from unconsciousness to consciousness occurs in so many steps, fine, finer, finest. It is to be conceived of in this way. Phur, Phuvar, Svar, Mahar, Janar, Tapa, Satya Loka, then Viraj, then Brahmaloka, or Brahman. In Brahman, we find the real existence of the soul, from Viraj downwards in the area of the material consciousness. In Bhagavad Gita, we find, in brief, 4 stages of mundane elements in the middle are given here. First is matter, second is the senses, third is the mind, and fourth is jurisdiction or reason. Finally, there is the soul. But in more elaborate detail, there are also 7 subdivisions of Phur up to Satyaloka. In this line, the soul is found in Brahman. Matter may also be subdivided as stone, water, heat, gas, ether, etc. In one word, it is matter, but one will also find subdivisions of matter from gross to subtle In stone, one will find earth, coal, wood, maybe gold or silver, but all these elements are felt by the senses, and thus the senses are superior to all the gradation of matter. Then there is a faculty of thinking or impulse. I want this, I don't want this. But further, the faculty of jurisdiction, reason, or intelligence is superior. No, I don't want that. It will produce a certain bad effect in you, and so on. Even more subtle than the intelligence of Chitta consciousness, which is not mentioned in Gita. Further is Ahankar, ego. And finally, the real soul. This is very interesting that Guru Maharaj mentions that there's multiple layers of matter, from the gross to subtle. In this world, we tend to believe that the matter is like something physical, something which you can experience with the senses, such as stone, wood, glass, something which can be registered, sound. But what is interesting is that mind, intellect, and ego is also considered a material element. So that's something, right? Something to consider. So mind and intelligence is something which helps us to register gross matter. But even mind and intelligence and ego, that is matter, that is material element. So partially it means that we were given material instrument of measurement, because like mind, body, and intelligence, this is something which helps us to measure matter and decide whether to use it or not use it. So it's like a prison in a prison, almost. Anyway. Let's. Okay. And we're gonna finish today. For today, and page 60. Hariharaya Nama Krishnaya Davaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govindaram Shrimad Sudhana Giridhari Gopinata Madana Mohana Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadatara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Shiva Gopala Bhatta Dasara Gunatha Jai Gosar Kori Charana Vandana Jai Te Biljana Shabishya Purana Jai Gosar Jara Mohitandra Dasa Ansabara Padaranu Mora Panchagrasa Andara Charana Sevi Bhakta Sane Basa Janame Janame Mor Eya Pilasa Echai Gosai Jabe Bhaje Kola Basa Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Purila Prakasha Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Maja Yamana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Koriya Shari Nama Sankirtana Kore Narotama Dasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Jai Vishnupad Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Bhakti Rakshak Shilshadar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Om Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Ki Jai. Jai Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Pramananda. Hari Bol.